Yes, that is quite a noteworthy aspect of it. I think in recent weeks, China has really shown itself to be, well, by far the more internationally reasonable and responsible actor as far as brokering diplomacy with regards to the war between Russia and Ukraine, which the West, the US primarily, clearly just wants to keep going. And as you point out now with this re-establishing of diplomatic relations, I think, well, I mean, China would certainly be a more credible broker for both countries, given that it has good relations with both sides, which obviously cannot be said for the US in terms of its relations with Iran. In general, I think it makes a great deal of sense for China, assuming that relations with the West continue to deteriorate, that it would do everything that it can to have the wider region be at peace with itself, ideally under a dominant power that is at least friendly to Beijing, which Iran obviously is. Because unlike the United States, it doesn't have the military means to project its power all the way to the Persian Gulf and impose an arrangement that it wants in the way that the United States historically has been able to do.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm very much of two minds about the significance of it. I think far more than the actual re-establishing of ties, I think the Saudi finance minister's statements about the possibility of Saudi Arabia investing in Iran was by far the most significant development. And I think for that reason, it received the least coverage in the general Western media ecosystem. I think if that possibility were actually to come true, it would effectively mean the end of Saudi Arabia's special relationship with the West, which would have fairly dire economic consequences for particularly European economies. So if this rapprochement were to actually result in effectively Iran becoming Saudi Arabia's new geopolitical patron, then it would be of absolutely enormous significance for Saudi Arabia, for Iran, for the world, in the level of geopolitical power that would be redistributed by that. I say I'm of two minds about it, though, because I think most people can assume that the United States wouldn't simply just sit by and allow such a tectonic shift to happen without doing anything. So for that reason, I think if this rapprochement actually would potentially lead to that outcome, I think the Saudi government is probably in a quite precarious situation at the moment.